The wizard macro results are stored in variables which are assigned to these wizard objects. As you can see in our example, each of these wizard objects has its own variable, so throughout the macro execution, the results will be stored exactly in these variables. Let's run and let's put the other values and these wizard objects like this, for example, and finish. So now if we look at these variables and test mode, we can see exactly the same values we just entered in those wizard objects. So now we can use these variables at the end of this wizard macro. In order to let them take part in those expressions that the wizard screen will form. So let's set breakpoint here to stop the macro execution, and then if we run and specify, for example, this value to the variable 3 and finish here, and the result field you can see the same value which we set manually in the wizard form screen. We can also use these variables at the end of the page where the wizard objects corresponding to those variables are placed. In our example, on page 1, we have variable 3, variable 1, and variable 2. So, at the end of this page, we can use the values of these variables as well. Like this, for example. Now let's set breakpoint here in order to see the results after the first page is done, and let's run. So I'm gonna put this number and select this item here and go to the next page. And you can see exactly the same number which we entered on the wizard form screen. And if we keep on running by using F8 key, in the result field we can see 8, the ID number of the item which was selected on the form screen. And you can see the same with tables as well. For example, let's choose from the business object some table, let's say a list of banks, and get data from this table and pass the table to the wizard object. For that we need to use wizard objects table and tell here to display the table 1 on page 3, and then we need to use the table properties macro command and tell here to let us update the table 1 which is on page 3. So we need to tell true in this enable update parameter and set breakpoint at the end of this loop. Now let's run. So we can see this table on page 3. We can change these values like this. or this. We can change values in the ID field as well. And when we finish the macro execution, here and the tables list, we can see table 1 with updated values. So now by using memory object tables tools, we can see how the user changed this table and write the macro code according to those modifications.